Hello my dear friends, you're on the Military Summary channel, and today we will discuss the situation in Ukraine on the 5th of May. Today we got a lot of very interesting news, so let's discuss them one by one. And today we'll start from the Kharkiv area, but not from Kharkiv exactly. We will discuss the announced offensive operation. This offensive operation was announced by the Ukrainian military authorities. As far as you can see on this map, there was like three directions of this offensive operation. On the north of Kharkiv, in direction of Stare Saltiv, from Kharkiv in this direction, and in Izium direction. I don't have any information about the offensive operation in Izium or offensive operation on the north of the Kharkiv, but I have something to say about this offensive operation. If you remember, I told you that yesterday Ukrainians they managed to take town Stare Saltiv, and we discussed about the situation the Russian forces appeared after that successful operation of Ukrainians. And I told you that for now I don't see the reason why the Russians should stay here. And I told you that the best solution for the Russians would be to retreat to the north on more reliable position. And I told you that the best solution for Ukrainians to start their offensive operation in this area from many sides. For example, from Stare Saltiv direction, from this direction, from the south. And today this offensive operation was announced. But in the morning, at noon, Russians they published their own map of this area. This is the map of this area, and this is the Stare Saltiv town, and this is this road. If you take a look at this map, you can see and you can say that Russians are no longer control this road. So the Russians they're showing by this map that they left their position on this road. Now let's take a look at this map. This is this road. This is it. This is the road. As you see, the Russians they left this territory, as we suggested them to do this, and they moved to the north. So we can say that Russians they moved to the north. So what can I say about this offensive operation? Of course, it's some kind of offensive operation by Ukrainians, but I must say that it's more like Ukrainians they're taking back the towns which the Russians left. So the Ukrainians, we can say that they established control over entire this territory, and I think that sooner or later this map will be updated. Now let's speak about the main goals, about the goals of the Ukrainian offensive operation, if they have one. First of all, the main idea of Ukrainians is to establish control over the border. So they want to push the Russians as far as possible, and if possible, to establish control over this border. It's the main goal. I'm not sure if they are able to achieve this goal, but it's the goal. Another important point Ukrainians they want to establish control over is town by the name Vovchansk, this area. I'm not sure that Ukrainians are able to cross river Seversky Donetsk. I'm not sure about this, so let's mark it as it's impossible. But anyway, they need to establish control over this railroad. As you see, there are just two railroads from the Russian Federation that moves to the Izium or to the Donbas. And one of these roads is here. And this road goes through the town of Vovchansk. And if Ukrainians are not able to cross this river, at least they need to try to push to the north in direction of these towns, these three towns on these small towns. If they are able to do this, of course, they will be able to establish fire control over this railroad, and we'll see what's next. Now let's move to another area, and let's discuss the updates regarding these two maps. First of all, let's move to the Avdiivka area. If we take a look at the Russian sources map, you will see that Avdiivka, there are some updates on this area. First of all, as we discussed yesterday, the Russians they established control over the town Troitske, and they established control over the suburbs of the town Novosiliivka. And they established control over this building. This is the school, as we discussed. In the previous, Ukrainian forces there established their fire points in this school. Also, the Russians they established control at least over the 50% of the town by Novbakhmutovka. So let's update the map for better understanding of the situation on this front line. So we could say that the Russians, they established control over this area, and now they have two options: or to move in direction of New York, or to move in direction, or to clear the Novobakhmutovka totally. Now let's move to this area. This is a very important area, and a lot of very interesting news came today, this morning, from this area. First of all, the Russians they announced that they established control over the town Svetlyshne, and they established control and they took control over the suburbs of town Nizhne. I think that they took everything that on the right side of this river. So we can mark this with the color, with the proper color, for the better understanding of the progress. So this is the territory that Russian managed to establish control over this morning. Another important thing that Russian established control over the town Grachova. And as far as I understand, they took control over, let's say, 50% of town Orekhovo. And this is very important. And I will try to explain to you the meaning of this area and what's next. So the main idea in this area, of course, from this area, from the town Nizhne, the Russians are planning to attack in this direction. In this area, in Orekhovo, the Russians, first of all, they want to clear Orekhovo totally. That for this purpose, they need to move to the north, we could say. And I would like to mark this territory in blue color. It doesn't mean that the Russians established control over this map. I just want to show you the plans for the next week, we could say. So the Russians want to establish control over entire Orekhovo. It's according to their plans. After they are able to establish control over the town Orekhovo, they will be able to throw their forces in this forest. This is a very big forest, and this forest is very nice place where the Russians can hide. You see, and as you see, according to these blue things, this is a very powerful fortified area. For example, let's take a look just on these trenches. So it's very, for example, Russians, they're moving from this town in this direction, but in front of them, sooner or later, they will see these trenches. And the same thing everywhere in these towns, it's just one big trenches. All these towns is just one big fortified area. So of course it's like a suicide operation to attack this town in front. So that's why Russians, they need to establish control over Orekhovo, and after that to throw their forces through Orekhovo in this forest. As you see, this forest is very close to the main town, to this town Girske. So if Russians are able to establish control over Orekhovo, they will be able to attack, to move their forces in this forest, and from this forest they will be able to attack Girske. And the main idea, of course, this is the same thing as in any other town, to split this territory in two parts. So for example, to establish control over like half, like this part of this town, and with help of that, they will be able to split this territory in two parts. And we can say that we might see a small cauldron in this area. I'm not saying that it's not the real situation, it's not the current situation on the front line, but I'm trying to explain to you what is the purpose of these movements and these tasks. And now we'll see in a few minutes you will see the whole picture of this. Now let's move in direction to the Rubizhne. This morning Russian forces they announced that the Ukrainian forces as well, they confirmed this information, that the Russians, they made an attempt to attack this area, this town Voivodovka, from this forest. So we can say that the attack was like this. What does it mean? And we discussed this town Rubizhne many times, and I told you many times that this map is not updated, and that the Russians, they established control almost over this entire town. And if we take a look at this map, you can see the difference, right? And we can say that the Russians, they really controls everything that on the left side of this gray line. So that's a lot. And even if you see, this gray line was yesterday, it was another picture, because this area is industrial zone, and by the yesterday morning all this industrial zone was under the Ukrainian control. But now you see that there is some update, there is some update. There are some updates here, so let's update this map as well according to the Russian source information. I'm not saying that it's like 100% correct, but I'm just trying to show you the picture in the Russian source segment of internet. So we can say that according to the Russian information, they're controlling something like this in town Rubizhne. So the only thing they need to establish control over is Zarya and Voivodovka. And if they are able to do this, a lot of forces will be free. There are around 22 battalion tactical groups in this area, be free, and they will be able to use them on, for example, in Severodonetsk or here. So this is another point, but it's also not the most important news that I got today. What is the most important thing I heard today from the Ukrainian sources? You know that there is some Ukrainian authority here, and for example, the governor of this area, today he made some video, and he published this video in the internet, and he told about how the things is going in this area. And he told few very important things. First of all, he told that there is no water here, and they're doing some operations to bring water to Severodonetsk and Lysychansk area because this territory without any water at all. And the most important thing he told, that these days, these hours, these minutes, Russians are trying to attack, not just to attack, they're trying to do another breakthrough in the area of Belogrivka. This is one thing. And then he added very important note, that he told that this attack is moved from direction of Rubizhne. So that means this is Rubizhne, and where is Belogrivka? So we see that Rubizhne, yes, they tried to attack Voivodovka. I heard this information by myself. It's not something that I read or I heard this information from the governor of this territory. This is Rubizhne, and of course there was an attempt to attack Voivodovka, but it's not kind of breakthrough operation. It's just a regular attack. I found one Belogrivka in this area, near Popasnaya. This is Popasnaya, and for example, this is Belogrivka. This is it. But it's very far from front line, and I think that it's impossible that Russians are doing breakthrough somewhere here, obviously. And another thing that this governor, he told that this attempt was done not in the area of Popasnaya. He told that this attempt was done in the area of Rubizhne. And I found this Belogrivka. This is it. This is Belogrivka. This is the town where the Russians are doing their breakthrough operation. But let's take a look on this map. This is Seversky Donetsk River. Yesterday I told you that after Russians, as soon as Russians are able to establish control over the Liman area, we discussed Liman in a very detailed way yesterday, I told you that the next step would be to open another front line in this area. And according to my opinion, according to the thing that I understand in this war, I told you that the Russians are planning to establish their another front line somewhere here, right on the bottom under the town Yampil. It's a very nice area to build pontoon bridges, and I told you that the main idea of the Russians was to, in a global scope, to attack from this area town Seversk. There was a lot of interesting questions. Where were Russians planning to take forces for this operation and so on. And from my side, of course, it's not like a current situation, and I was expecting for some actions, and I was expecting for some evidence about this operation. For me, it's very important. I'm saying something, so I need to prove it, not just like say something for nothing, right? And today I got this evidence. I did a little mistake. Of course, I thought that this operation, this breakthrough operation, this pontoon bridge operation, this cross Seversky Donetsk River operation will be somewhere here. But this governor, he told that the Russians are trying to do this breakthrough in the area of town Belogrivka. It's a little bit to the west from the place I told you. But the main idea is the same, that they are trying to establish another front line. And I start to discover why did Russians choose this area but not this one. Because for me it's very important. So let's just mark the maybe approximate area where the Russians are planning to establish their front line, their breakthrough and their front line. From this perspective, of course, this area is much more better than maybe this area, because from this area you can you are like right behind the Lysychansk agglomeration, so it's a very nice place. But I continue my investigation in this area, and look what I found. I found this. What is this? This is a very big landfill. And I tried to find some pictures from the internet about this landfill, and I found what I have. So this is it. This is the landfill. And this is a very big landfill. I'll repeat myself. And of course, from the tactic perspective, this area is much more better than this area. Of course, if Russians are able to take this area and then to take Seversk, but they will have to cross this river, of course, again. They will solve all their support problems. But if they are able to take Avdiivka, they will be able to establish control over entire this valley. It's a very big landfill. I'm not saying that it's like Iraq, but I'm sure that from this landfill they are able to establish control. At least they establish fire, artillery control. They will be able to establish some their eyes, and they will control around 10 kilometers around this territory. So let's mark around 10 kilometers in every side from this area. So as you see, that's a lot. Now let's mark with some more lines. So you can see that from this area, from this landfill, the Russians will be able to establish their artillery control, their eye control, their fire control over over a very big territory. And it's right behind the Lysychansk agglomeration. And as far as I remember, according to like the only information I have, there are around 15,000 Ukrainian soldiers. Now let's take a look at this map in the global scope. If this operation is true, if the words of this governor is true, that told that today there was a very heavy clashes here and Ukrainians are trying to stop Russian breakthrough in crossing of this river, this is like a small picture of Lysychansk agglomeration cauldron. Now I understand why the Russians are attacking in this area, in Popasnaya and in Orekhov. First of all, let's start from Avdiivka. If Russians are able to establish control over this town, they will cut this road. They will cut this road, and Lysychansk agglomeration, they won't be able to receive any support from the big land. This is the first reason and the meaning of this territory. Now let's move to the direction of Orekhov. As I told you, they're moving to this forest, and from this forest to the west to split this territory, but maybe they don't even need to split this territory. From this forest they will be able to cut this road, and this is the second road, regular road, which support and which connects Lysychansk agglomeration with the big land. And now let's take a look at Popasnaya. The same situation. They're moving. They have already established control over the railroad station, and this is also the third way how Ukrainians can support Lysychansk, but in this situation just using the railroad. So you see, if Russians are able to complete this operation, and they're doing this right now, they're moving slowly but block by block in this direction, and we saw the progress for weeks. It's not something like from my head. We saw this progress. We saw the progress in Popasnaya. We saw the progress in Rubizhne. So I see that maybe it could be a plan of Russian to establish, to create some cauldron in the Lysychansk agglomeration area. And if Russians are able to do everything we just discussed, there will be just one way to support Lysychansk, using this railroad. But in this case, they need to go first to the north, then to the east, then again to the north. And it's a very big road, and I think that it will be very difficult for Ukrainians to support and supply. We can say that this area will be under operational surrendering. Under operational, and we can say that if Russians are able to do this, Lysychansk agglomeration would appear in operational surrounding. And that's it for today. Thank you for watching, subscribe to my channel, and enjoy your day. Bye bye.